Do you ever hear about good and evil that come from the homily, or most of the homilies you hear feel good? And this is not an attack on our priests, and I love my priests. You know that I'm a defender of them. But this, I think, is a legitimate issue for us to talk about today, and how it affects the Catholic worldview. And joining me today, Dr. Grace Vuoto, founder and executive director of the Edmund Burke Institute. It's a Washington-based think tank, and we continue today our series, and you can check out her article there at our Graceful Heritage. We'll put up a link at Relevant as well. It's edmundburkeinstitute.org, or just go to relevantradio.com, keyword Drew, and you can link over. Doctor, good to have you here today. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Drew. And, you hit the nail on the head in so much of what you said. I was inspired to write this piece because I am one of the faithful who recurrently finds the homilies in our churches, and I've gone to many, many of them. I find them absolutely dreadful. And I use the word dreadful because I am often very upset when I walk out of Mass, because I think that the homily is not at the same level as the rest of the Mass. I think it is a really impoverished version of what our priests should be doing. And the point that I make in this article, Milquetoast Homilies Denigrate the Mass, is that our homilies are bland, and they are often completely disconnected from what we need to hear in order to be strengthened in our faith and in order to be active participants in the social and cultural problems of our time. So what I'm pointing out here is that I don't think, I'm a little bit less charitable than you are, Drew. I don't think our priests are being as brave as they should be from the pulpit. I think that they are trying to be inoffensive most of the time, and that results in greatly watering down the doctrine.
And why is that? Is there a fear of not being liked, a fear of people leaving the church, a fear of not the financial support? Why not just speak the truth? Why not get up there and tell it the way it is?
I think there's exactly two reasons that you hit upon. Number one is that we see that liberalism, and this is a theme we've talked about it before, it has penetrated the mindset of our very own church leaders. That's number one. And so they actually truly don't want to be offensive, and they don't understand that Christians have traditionally been, I use the word, really offensive to the social and cultural norms of their time, in the sense that they have stood up against them.
Right.
And the second point is that there is this great fear, we don't have enough vocations, and we have what seems to be, the attendance of a flock is not what it should be. So instead of recognizing that one of the ways to draw people in is to stand fervently on principle and to talk about the issues that matter to them, they're doing the exact opposite. So they think that this is the way to keep people in the churches, and they think this is the way to keep the money coming in, but in fact the opposite is true. The church grew exponentially throughout the early church and the Middle Ages, precisely when church leaders were willing to stand up to the orthodoxies of their time.
I think you're right. I look at modern-day preachers today. One of the greatest preachers, I think, of our days is a priest by the name of Father John Carapi. And I'll tell you what, this guy, he doesn't care. I mean, he gets out there and he preaches the truth. He'll talk about contraception. He'll talk about, socialism. He'll talk about the attack on the family. He'll lay all this stuff out. It's politically incorrect, but I'll tell you what, it resonates with people because he's speaking the absolute truth. And you point out in your article, and I love this line, you actually say in the article that we cannot understand the good without understanding evil. We cannot know why we should if we're not told why we should not. And I commend you on that line, because I think it's brilliant. We need to know why we need to know what the evil is in order to be able to embrace the good.
Yes, Drew, and this is one of the fundamental problems. The homilies, essentially, I just summarize it in a nutshell, is to try to transmit two ideas generally. The priests try to tell us that we really should love God, we should have faith, and they try to tell us that we should love our neighbor. Those are basically, in a nutshell, I think, what I hear in various forms from the homilies. And that's all good and fine, but I think it is the simplest, easiest, most cowardly way to preach, because it's something we can all agree on. Yes, we should love God. Yes, we should love our neighbor. But the complicated questions are not addressed. How do you love God? How do you love your neighbor? Moreover, we rarely hear truly what we should not be doing. Talk to us about evil. What is evil? How can I know what is good if you don't tell me what is evil? Moreover, Why should I want to do the good unless you make me fear evil?
Right, exactly.
Exactly. And one of the things that I point out is if you notice the way we parent, when we parent, we don't only tell our children what they should be doing because it's good for them, we also threaten them with repercussions if they don't do what we tell them to do.
But not every homily can be that way, though. Isn't there a purpose for the homily? Doesn't the homily also serve to make vibrant and alive those scripture readings to us, to make them relevant and prepare us for the celebration of the Mass?
Yes, but if you look at the readings themselves, they are extremely profound. The gospel readings have so much of the thou shalt and the thou shalt not. It has both elements, but the priests selectively choose only the elements therein that seem to be the least threatening, the least unnerving, when the point is that Christianity itself, it is unnerving. It is a call to action, and it is saying to us, look, every day you have a fundamental choice. You're either, in all your actions, in all your thoughts, in all your deeds, you're either moving towards hell or you're moving towards heaven, and there's nowhere in between.
My guest today is Dr. Grace Vuoto. I'm going to take your calls. I'm going to open the phones. 877-ROAM 777. We're taking a look at, homilies within the Catholic Church, what they represent, what they're doing, or perhaps what they're failing to do. Let me go to Maria in Austin first. Jack, you're on deck. Everyone else, I'm going to get all your calls. 877-ROAM 777. Maria in Austin, thanks for calling in.
Hello. I just wanted to comment on the homilies. I went to Catholic elementary school. I got my Holy Communion on time, my confirmation, all of that. Grew up, got married in the Catholic Church, go to church every Sunday. It wasn't until I started listening to Relevant Radio that I knew I better start praying more. It wasn't until I listened to y'all that I heard about Fatima and all these other things that have really made me become a true Catholic. So why didn't I ever hear about all that in church? I've been going all my life, and I just think that they really should
Maria,
push more.
I hear my bumper running. It wasn't until Relevant Radio that you heard of the importance of confession? Is that what I'm hearing here?
I mean, I knew, I got my sacrament of reconciliation and all that, and I knew I was supposed to, but, all the things that I've learned about just in the last 9 months, it's shocking to me that I'm not hearing about it every Sunday. I
appreciate the call. Let me leave it right there. When we come back, we will talk more, folks. Stay with me. Her latest articles, Milquetoast Homilies Radio. All right, it's 12 before the hour. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. Hey, if you are just joining me, I'm speaking today with the founder and executive director of the Edmund Burke Institute, Dr. Grace Vuoto. Wrote a great series of articles, and you can check them out. Our Graceful Heritage is the link you'll find at edmundburkeinstitute.org, or you can go to Relevant, and you'll find a link taking you over there. Her latest articles, Milquetoast Homilies Denigrate the Mass, and she is highlighting the fact that perhaps we should be hearing more and getting a little more out of some of the Catholic homilies. And her point is this. She says in the article that, basically in the early church, the apostles, the church fathers, they not only battled the political authorities of their day, but they were also at loggerheads with the social norms of the times. They chastised their audience for embracing pagan rituals of the Roman Empire, such as participating in the barbarian activities at the Roman Colosseum. They assaulted the hallowed Jewish rituals, and they took on the leading intellectual orthodoxies of their time, challenging both Jewish doctrine and classical Greek. Are we seeing that and hearing that from our own, from the pulpit? Is that the right place for it? Well, we'll take a few more calls. Doctor, welcome back. A lot of people mixed on this issue. A lot of people praising you for your bold stand. Others saying, well, wait a minute, it's not the priest's fault. Jack in Austin, Texas. You're on the air with Dr. Vuoto. Good afternoon. Hi, Jack. Hello. You're with us.
Yeah, okay. I'm just calling in defense of the priests and the hierarchy in general. Quick point is that my wife's Protestant and I'm a Catholic, so I go to some Protestant services. I'm from Austin, Texas. This is Baptist country. Mm-hmm. And the thing that's quite distinctive and noticeable is that the folks in the Baptist crew hold each other accountable. They're very active in their church, it's not that the pastor is telling them what to do. They're watching each other. They have Bible studies on Wednesdays and active church members. In contrast, the Catholics tend to be, and for a lot of reasons, we call them the laity, but they're really the laicity. They're just totally lazy, and they want to give a little sound bite. They want to do their 45 minutes at Mass and trundle off. And so trying to suggest that the priests, the responsibility for them to grow in their spiritual life is wrong. The laity needs to shoulder the responsibility.
Jack, it's a great point. Let me let Dr. Vuoto pick that up.